Hey guys, free pick time. All right, back with another free play. So today I got another baseball play for you guys, and I'm going to walk you through exactly why I think this play has value. So despite having a great day in Masterclass yesterday, that did not translate over into a free pick win. Disappointed in this game because really what this game came down to was just two big innings. They had two innings where they scored 4 runs, another inning where they got 2 runs, and that was it. That was the extent of your scoring for this game. So, the thing you obviously, needless to say, need to avoid when you're betting, fairly low total games are those big innings. And the fact that 2 of them in one game, not survivable. So disappointing, but we move on. Yesterday, all in all, amazing day. One of the best days we've had in a long time, given the fact that we won all of our big plays. We went 12-6 on the day, but we hit all of our big plays, including our 2-unit play. I want to talk about that 2-unit play very, very briefly. So it was Seattle and Dallas under 6. Now, reason I want to talk about is because I think there's a teaching point and a lesson here, just because of some of the comments, okay? So give out a 2-unit play, Dallas, Seattle, and right away it's like, okay, well, look what happened all the rest of the games, okay? The last game, blowout, way over. Game before, over, etc., etc. And, my first point was, well, look, if you look at the previous game, you play that 1,000 times. The average amount of goals scored in that game expected 4.94. So that game should have gone under, but it didn't. We move on to this one, and we're going to look at, again, some excellent systems late in the series, higher total. These teams do or die for both these teams, right? They're going to lock it down defensively, and the total of 6 is ridiculous, right? So the thing that, I want to bring to people's attention is that, past results do not equal future results, all right? And that is a big thing in sports betting you see where, maybe you've just watched a team have 3 overs in a row and you think, oh, well, I guess they're going to go over. And then they, proceed to have an under game. There is a lot more to it than, just strictly following, small little trends, right? Because you can have variance within trends. Like, we've talked about that many times. So it is important to understand that each game is independent from one another, right? And, I had some people saying, wow, Bender, good job on that play. Well, obviously it was a 2-unit play, but good job on that play because we were all thinking over, blah, 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 blah. Each game and each play needs to be looked at independently. And I give you a really good example, from my childhood. One of the first doubleheader I ever went to, I was so pumped at Skydome. Never been to a doubleheader before. I love baseball. And the first game I remember, bottom of the 8th inning, Joe Carter doubled home the winning run. They ended up winning 11-10. So it was like one of the most fun baseball games you could ever imagine. I was so pumped. We got another game coming up here. And then the second game finished 2-0. Okay, so we just went from 21 runs scored. I think Carter was one of my favorite players. I think he had 4 hits in that game. It was crazy, right? To 2-0. All right, now why? There's no rhyme or reason to it. But again, each game, each matchup, everything has its own specific set of variables. And that is why it is so important to look at each particular game. Looking back at, a comment, this was quite a while ago, but I never forgot it because, it really gave me some insight into the public's thinking in terms of how they're betting on sports and stuff. And I looked at a matchup where I absolutely love the over, and the line was set at 9.5. And I bet it, and someone pointed out, it said absolutely terrible bet. The last time these two teams faced each other, and the last time, 2 times that these pitchers actually matched up against each other, they gave up less than 5 runs combined. So I'm like, okay, but this is you're talking about the 2 teams meeting, you're talking about these pitchers meeting, and you're talking about a 3-1 game that happened. But here's what we're actually talking about here. What he's talking about is a game that took place at Wrigley with a 16-mile-an-hour wind blowing in, okay? I'm talking about a game taking place at Wrigley with a 12-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. And if you don't know the difference between those 2 things at Wrigley Field, you need to, all right? But that is a prime example. We're just strictly looking at what happened before. You're blinded to the fact that it's completely different playing conditions, all right? The wind going in versus wind going out. And when we're talking like a major difference, like, you know, up in 16 and 12 and 10 mile an hour ranges, that is absolutely a game changer. And there was a reason why the line was set at 9.5. And again, it was, you know, maybe it was memorable because like it was a blowout game. It was, you know, completely ridiculous. It was one of our higher unit plays. And I think we had the game cashed by like 4th inning or something. So anyways, I really want to kind of just, you know, touch base on that because again, you know, I get comments and look, this is how people learn. Like, you know, I am not in any way, shape or form, like, you know, casting shade on anyone or anything like that. I want people to learn. I want this to be as educational as possible for people. And, you know, that's why I cover this, guys. It's important, you know, don't get too hung up on, you know, what might have happened the last game or whatever. You know, make sure that your trends have a psychological or a physical reason to why they are trends, not just the fact that it just happened to be this, right? Now, segue. I want to talk about specific trends that have bearing in real life in terms of, you know, we can go through and extrapolate why this is happening, okay? Leads us into our free pick. We're going to take Colorado minus 125. Don't be shy to, you know, throw some money on that run line too, right? Get yourself some plus money. Pinnacle right now, if you're in Canada, you can get minus 123 on that. And, you know, why give up free money, right? Okay. So, you know, steam move on them. I got 3 systems. Colorado since 2017 has slammed lefties at home. All right. They're obviously a much better hitting team at home. I think everyone's a better hitting team in Colorado. But, you know, they're purpose built to be able to, you know, play in Colorado, right? At least their offenses. Anyways, since 2017, facing lefties at home, they are 88 and 66. Okay, 88 wins, 66 losses. As a favorite, they're 45 and 29, good for a 61% win rate. All right. The other thing I like right now is this matchup is happening, in my opinion, at the right time because their bats have woken up in May. I think they hit around 240 combined home and away in April, but in May, 270. All right. They hit 270. And again, you know, I like this matchup. I capped them as about a 0.6 run favorite, which gives us a nice edge. Someone asked, you know, yesterday that good question, say, you know, at 0.8 or 0.9 run advantage in a game, like, is that a good advantage? Is it worth paying a bit of juice? Like, absolutely. Okay. I know it might sound like a small, minuscule advantage, but it's not, okay? That is a big advantage, okay? Like, you start looking for edges in baseball around, like, you know, 0.25, maybe even as low as 0.2 runs in a low total game, right? These are little edges that you find. But again, find these little tiny edges, right? And it adds up, okay? It's, you know, stackable. But this is a good play. Pretty high value ROI, I think, over long term. And that's it for today, guys. So again, hope you learned something. I hope I triggered people who don't like long videos and don't think that, you know, learning is worth investing 8 minutes. And I hope to see you guys back here again. All right, betyourwins.com for the full card, guys. Best of luck, and we'll see you soon.